Good.
Well, it's a week from tomorrow.
Betcha.
We've been counting down 100 days until the election. This election that probably is the most important one of our lives.
Get that
A
right.
lot's happened in these 100 days. We've had a lot of important milestones to work through. Seams, as you call them. October 7th,
SEAMS.
the High Holy Days. And, I've been drawn back to the first step in the path to holiness, to being a good person. Moshe Chaim Lozato, he says, I think when he had no control over the rest of the world, when he got kicked out of, Italy, his home, I'm imagining that when he found his way to Holland, in order to recenter himself, he wrote this book, Mesilat Yesharim, The Path of the Just. I think I feel that way too. When you don't have control over everything on the outside, you try to do the right thing. And you try to just make yourself a better person, right? I think that's the challenge. And he says, there is no difference between natural, in using blindness as a metaphor of people who don't see. And we know that people who are sight impaired have other senses that are even stronger sometimes. They see things we don't see, but he's using it as a metaphor, and he's saying there is no difference between natural blindness and self-inflicted blindness. The shutting of one's eyes is an act of will and desire. In other words, when we choose not to see what's going on around us, that can lead to evil. But that doesn't mean that we are, that it makes us unable to, it doesn't make us victims, doesn't make us unable to respond in holy ways. And so he gives us this path to holiness. He complains about the evil of the men of his generation, about their being affected with this affliction of willingly not seeing what's going on around them because they, want to see the world in a certain way, and they're stuck in their blinding of their eyes, he says, to their own actions and their failure to understand them in order to engage in something that is better. And, of course, he's quoting Jeremiah, who did give up on his generation. He said, Lo Yeshama B'harei Yehuda u'v'chutzot Yerushalayim. Never again will there be the sounds of joy, of weddings and babies and future and people believing in the future, because the world is such a mess. And of course, that's where the seventh blessing in the weddings, the wedding ceremony comes, when the rabbis turn his words around. But it's a challenge. It's a challenge right now. It's a serious time. It's a time to get out and talk to everyone you know. Make sure everybody has a plan to vote. And
you have to know your stuff first. And as Luzzatto taught us, be attentive.
Be attentive. That's that first step. Watchfulness, attention.
Acquire your wisdom. Make sure you know. Make sure you know what you believe. Make sure you have your language correct.
Right.
You listen first. You organize your thinking. Then you begin to talk. More. Listen, then talk. Endless enmity, disinformation. Choose life. It will help to acknowledge nobility. Freedom to choose life. And if it's hard, it's the only way. Step outside certainty. We may infuriate our family now and again. We are all transparent in our willingness to be human beings than to be more.
Yep. This is the time for us to show up and to be more. This is the time.
And not to be discouraged. Stay in the center.
You know, the portion this week is Noah. You know, I love that teaching that there were things built into creation that will show up when we need them, like the rainbow of Noah. They're built in, and they show up when we need them.
And don't forget, we need each other. So we need your best efforts now.
We do.
So you need to do what you know is right, and then you need to do a little more. Step outside your comfort zone a little bit.
Right.
Take somebody to vote.
Yeah, I have a friend, a woman who takes care of my dad. She's from Mexico. Her family's from Mexico. And, you know, there's a lot of intimidation in the immigrant community. She's taking 17 people today.
Wow.
To vote. 17 people.
Amazing.
And last Monday, she's off on Mondays, so last Monday she took just as many. I'm just so inspired by her. She's just a wonderful human being. She helps so many people, and she's bringing people who might otherwise be intimidated and not go on their own. She's taking them to the polls today.
And you know, like you're saying, you know, when you feel stuck a little, get out, do something more.
Right. Yeah.
Gather up some people, take them to the poll.
That's all we've got.
Yeah, find out whether it's not so much weight.
Yeah, we voted last week, and we voted in North County, and we didn't wait at all. It was a library in North County, and went check. But we were ready. We brought with us a guide to voting. We had filled out already, and so it didn't take us that long.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So a week from tomorrow, so 8 more days.
You're staying with it.
And
you can depend on us.
Holding vigil for something good to happen.
Vigil. Yep.
Holding vigil.
See you, kids.
Have a great day. Have a good, meaningful day. And we'll see you tomorrow when it'll be 1 week.
Ciao, babies.